Hey guys, this is Mistress Nightmare here, and today we'll be reading A Killer's Baby Chapter 8. Before we get started, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe to this channel if you guys want more creepypasta fanfictions out there. Until then, let's get started. Isabella's point of view. I love Jeff sometimes, but sometimes he can be as smart as a donkey. Like, for example, a week after just finding out I was pregnant, he decided to say the most stupidest thing I ever heard while throwing up. That was just 2 days ago. I bent over the toilet throwing up, and Jeff was rubbing my back, which was really sweet of him, even if he still didn't approve of the baby. When I was done, I sat up and wiped my mouth, and I realized Jeff was staring at me. What is it? I was just thinking, if it's actually 2, would you be pregnant for 8 months? All I could do was stare at him in disbelief. First off, Jeff, stop calling them it. And secondly, Jeff, you're a fucking moron. I said, shaking my head. I am not a moron, he yelled back. I rolled my eyes. Apparently you are. If I have twins, it's going to be about 9 months. Even if I have triplets, it's going to be the same. I swear, sometimes I think Jeff is just a big idiot, but I guess that's one thing I love about him. But if he keeps calling the baby an it, I'm going to hurt him. I was laying on the couch watching TV while rubbing my stomach, thinking, would it be a boy or a girl? I was really hoping to have a baby boy and girl. If it is twins, but if it's just the one single baby, I hope it's a boy. I was thinking suddenly when I felt 4 small paws climb onto my chest and laid down. I looked down to see that it was only Jeffrey. "Oh, hi kitty," I said, petting him. Looking back at the TV now, and that's thinking about it, Jeffrey kind of likes me and Jeff's kids already. Silly though, this isn't what I meant of taking care of him and playing with him all the time. Hearing the door creak open, thinking it was Jeff, I didn't bother looking behind me. "Welcome back, babe. If you're covered in blood, take off your shoes and go upstairs to take a shower first. And if you touch me with blood on your hands, I will lock you out of the house again." I continued watching the TV, but I heard footsteps coming near me. But Jeff usually says something about right now, like, yeah, I know, or shut the hell up, I know, babe, or dollface. He didn't say anything, so I was wondering if he was okay or not. I sat up and looked behind me, but before I could feel a cloth cover my mouth and nose, Jeffrey jumped up and hissed for a minute, and I started struggling. Then I suddenly felt myself going unconscious. Before I can do anything, I heard Jeff scream my name in the background, and everything goes black and quiet. What felt like hours later, I woke up in a room, but it wasn't mine. When I sat up, I looked around. It kind of looked like it was plain, just a bed, a small TV, a bedside table, and window. And there was also little drawings that looked like it was drawn by a kid on the wall. When I tried to get off the bed, I heard my head started hurting, and then I heard static all around me. I held onto my head and then fell to my knees. Then I could hear Jeff's voice. "Isabella." I looked up and saw Jeff. He wrapped his arms around me and picked me up. As soon as he touched me, the static went away. "You okay?" I looked up at him, and he looked at me with a worried face. I just nodded and put my head on his shoulders. Where are we?" Jeff just stands up and carries me out the room. When we were walking out of the room into a huge hallway with many doors, he walked downstairs or down the hallway to a huge front staircase. When we got to the stairs, I jumped and saw A lot of people were down there. They all noticed me and Jeff coming down the stairs. I could feel all eyes around me and Jeff, shaking a little. Then I can hear Jeff whisper into my ear, "You're going to be okay as long as I'm right here. Nobody will touch you." I made my body relax a little and I peeked over to see there was now a tall man wearing a suit. His skin was white as snow and his face had no features. There was no eyes, no ears, or a mouth or a nose, even hair. I don't really realize I was staring until Jeff put me down. I didn't want him to put me down, so I held onto his hoodie, but he put me down anyway and held onto my hand. "Isabella, I am Slenderman. It's a pleasure to meet you," the tall man said, and he held out his hand. I looked at Jeff. All he does was nod. I gave my hand to him to shake it. It's nice to meet you, but how do you know my name already?" Slenderman just chuckled as I could hear another voice. "Jeff tenderly talks about you a lot." I looked over to see a blonde sitting on the couch playing Mario Go-Kart with somebody else who was sitting next to him, but I couldn't see him clearly, a little too much. I heard an angry female's voice. I looked over to the other side to see a woman with black hair wearing a black dress, and next to her was a girl who had the smile just like Jeff. I could feel her eyes on me, but it was not out of curiosity, but out of anger and hate. I quickly looked away from her and held onto Jeff's hand tighter. Maybe about 30 minutes later, I met everybody from my favorite characters in this house had to be, I think, Tiki Toby. He was pretty funny and hyper, kind of like a little kid. And there was also a guy named Masky. He kept poking over and over again when Toby got fed up and got close to his face, and I can swear I could hear him whisper, "Babe, stop." I was sitting on the couch next to Eyeless Jack, or everyone calls him EJ. He was pretty quiet and doesn't really like to talk much, but he was really interesting. And there was also Ben, who looked like Link from Legend of Zelda, so I called him Link one time. And the girl who was glaring at me earlier, it was Nina. I don't really like her. She is kind of scary, but then I realized that must have been the crazy fangirl that Jeff told me about a couple of weeks ago. Not even a few minutes later of watching Ben play a game, I started to doze off before I heard a loud crash. I immediately jumped up and looked behind me. There was someone who stood atop of Jeff. He had a lot of scars on his face and a striped scarf. Green eyes with light brown hair. He looked angry, holding a knife over Jeff. Without thinking, I jumped up and pushed him off Jeff. The other guy looked at me and his eyes softened, no longer looking angry or frustrated. When he spoke, his voice was soft and gentle. "Ah, you must be Isabella. I'm Lou." He held out his hand, but I just took a step back and helped Jeff up. "Are you okay?" Next thing, I was pinned to the ground and somebody was holding a knife. "Don't do that. Don't do anything. You'll seriously get hurt." I jumped a little when he yelled at me. I'm sorry." "Damn it, Jeffrey, you don't have to yell at her like that. She was trying to help you." I heard the same female voice from earlier. It was Jane. She was actually pretty nice, but she hates Jeff. She made it clear to me when we were talking earlier that she doesn't have any problem with me. She just doesn't like Jeff. Jeff glared at her, and then he looked at me and puts me on the head and kissed me. "I'm sorry." I just sighed and walked back to the sofa. I wasn't mad at him, but sometimes I really miss with him, so I would make him think I was mad. I sat down on the couch, and then all of a sudden he rushes over to me. No, please, don't be mad. I'm sorry. Nope, you yelled at me and almost made me cry. I said, not even looking at him. Jeff holds on to me. Please, I will do anything. Anything? He nods. I thought about it for a minute. Let me play with your hair. Absolutely not. Not my hair, Jeff yelled. I sniffled a few times, pretending about to cry. This caused Jeff to look worried. Okay. God damn it. He lays his head on my lap and I started playing with it. My giggles and little kisses on his cheeks. I love you, you big oaf. He looks at me and smiles and whispers, I love you too. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I'm glad. If you want more Ben Drowned love stories, check out the playlist that will be popping up soon. Also, if you want any more fanfictions narrations, please check out my other channel, Reading with Blade, which has multiple fanfictions up already. If you are interested in the yaoi experience, check out Tyler O'Connell's channel if you want to go there. But note that channel is only 18 and up. I've been listening to Tyler's stories and I'm addicted to them. Until then, bye guys!